From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
New tonight, sadly, the surge of deadly violence in Indianapolis continues into the new year. Thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. Metro Police are investigating at least 5 fatal shootings in a span of 4 hours. And at least 1 other person is seriously wounded. 3 of those people were shot at around 6:30 this evening on Pasadena Street near 38th and Shadeland on the northeast side. 1 woman was taken to the hospital in critical condition. A second woman and a man were pronounced dead at the scene. While details have not been released, police appeared shaken by the crime.
I was able to enter the residence and look in the scene. It was very heart-wrenching, especially to know that there was a child inside of that residence. And we've got 3 people injured. 2 of them are deceased. I've been a police officer almost 15 years, and it's one of the most horrendous crime scenes that I've ever seen before. It's disturbing.
We will bring you updates as we learn new information. And here's what we know about the other cases. That around 3 o'clock this afternoon, a man died after he was shot on Hillside Avenue near 25th Street on the near north side. Around the same time, a woman was shot on Boulevard Place just north of 38th Street near Crown Hill Cemetery. And just before 5, police say someone shot a man on Stratford Court at an apartment complex near 42nd and Post Road. Both died at the hospital.
Now to the latest on the aftermath of the attack on the U.S. Capitol. Vice President Mike Pence is ruling out using the 25th Amendment to remove President Trump. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze explains what happens now.
With a small but growing number of Republicans now publicly in favor of impeachment, Vice President Mike Pence rejecting efforts to remove President Trump from office using the 25th Amendment. Pence notifying House Speaker Nancy Pelosi of his decision in a letter just before a House vote on a resolution calling on him to invoke the amendment and strip the president of his powers in the wake of the deadly attack on the Capitol.
I urge Vice President Pence to do the right thing.
All eyes now turn to Congress, where some top Republicans are coming out in support of impeaching Trump for the second time. A source confirming to ABC News, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has told associates he believes the president committed impeachable offenses. And Congresswoman Liz Cheney, the 3rd highest ranking Republican in the House, who has previously been critical of Trump, revealing she will vote to impeach. Cheney not mincing words in a statement, writing Trump summoned this mob, assembled the mob, and lit the flame of this attack, adding there has never been a greater betrayal by a president of the United States of his office and his oath to the Constitution. Cheney is now among at least 2 other House GOP members and more than 200 Democrats seeking to impeach Trump for willfully inciting violence against the government of the United States.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
The president is standing by those comments he made January 6th. In his first public appearance since the attack, Trump showing no remorse and taking no responsibility.
People thought that what I said was totally appropriate.
This as the FBI warns of threats in all 50 state capitals ahead of the inauguration January 20th. And as Justice Department officials say they're investigating significant felony cases tied to sedition and conspiracy in the attack on the Capitol last week.
I think people are going to be shocked with some of the egregious conduct that happened within the Capitol.
And sources tell ABC News Republican leaders in the House are not telling their members to vote for or against impeachment. Instead, they're saying to vote their conscience. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Many news organizations are reporting that one suspect arrested in the Capitol attack had notes referencing overthrowing lawmakers and mentioned Indiana Representative Andre Carson specifically. Our Rafael Sanchez talked to the congressman tonight about this new evidence.
I think it really hits home about how dangerous some of these individuals were when they stormed the Capitol. This individual did not issue a general statement about violence. Instead, it was targeted and specific. He had intent. He brought sophisticated weapons across country. And this specific threat to me and others from a targeted list with my name on it and with others' names on it, really, I think it highlights the times in which we live. I think it's unfortunate that there was a collapse in terms of leadership and preparedness as it related to the response of Capitol Police or the lack of response. But, you know, I think every American needs to know this. This is the true nature of the threat that we're facing in our democracy right now. It's targeted, it's specific, it's very sophisticated. And there was some mob-related behavior and violence on January the 6th. But there were also terror threats, threats to our democracy. And this is just one example.
We will continue to bring you the latest on the Capitol attack aftermath, including arrests, charges, and political fallout.
Now to the latest on the impact of COVID-19 on the economy. Soon-to-be Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he is committed to passing legislation that will increase the latest stimulus payments to $2,000. Meanwhile, many Hoosiers are frustrated with Indiana's unemployment system. Victoria Stackhouse is a self-employed crafter. The mother of 4 applied for benefits under the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program in April. Those benefits stopped in late December.
Those of us that were self-employed on PUA had to stay home and teach our children throughout this pandemic. We feel very left out, and like you just don't even think about the unemployment system.
Hoosiers collecting traditional unemployment started getting an extra weekly $300 in federal benefits on Friday, with payments retroactive to December 27th. But that's not the case for Hoosiers under the PUA system. The Department of Workforce Development tells WRTV discussions are underway to implement changes to distribute those benefits. A spokesperson says an announcement is expected this week. We will bring you updates as we learn new information.
We are bringing you some signs of hope when it comes to economic rebound. While the pandemic has devastated the restaurant industry, some businesses are not only surviving, but expanding during this tough time. We start with WRTV's Cameron Riddle and a restaurant that specializes in the ultimate comfort food.
In some places around central Indiana, it is easier to find an abandoned restaurant than it is to find a new one. But in downtown Indianapolis, I Heart Mac and Cheese is a restaurant defying the odds.
No, we're blessed. 1 in 6, 1 in 5 restaurants right around there are going out.
After opening up his first location in Westfield last year, I Heart Mac and Cheese co-owner Matthew Griffin and his wife Elizabeth are now opening up a second location at 10th Street and Indiana Avenue, just off the campus of IUPUI. Griffin says the key to getting customers to dine out in a pandemic is to offer them a good experience and a reason to come back.
I strive customer service, getting to know the customers, getting to know those who come in on a regular basis, what they order, making it personal.
In his new location that opens this week, customers will be greeted with some unique combinations of mac and cheese and lobster, Philly cheesesteak, and baked buffalo chicken, and even grilled cheese sandwiches. Griffin says these days, running a small business in a pandemic is about more than just making money. It's about supporting a community in more ways than one.
Right now, I think we have 40 employees that are counting on a paycheck, that are, they have rent, they've got bills, they've got kiddos, school, with daycare, with e-learning. I mean, it's more important than ever now for small businesses to excel.
Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
Well, the grand opening of I Heart Mac and Cheese downtown location is tomorrow. If you aren't ready to dine indoors just yet, the menu is available on DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, and Postmates.
It looks good. Also hosting a grand opening this week, Hotel Tango Zionsville, the local distillery's tasting room near 106th Street and Zionsville Road, is set to open on Thursday. They held a soft opening tonight. The general manager tells me Hotel Tango is about more than serving drinks. The business also wants to serve the community in other ways.
Just in passing, we've had a lot of people stop by and say, oh, this community needs this so much. And so kind of rolling off of that and feeling like, and knowing really that we have a great opportunity here to provide the community with something special. And not just a place to go drink and eat and be merry, but Hotel Tango is incredibly involved in the community, and we have those exact plans that we apply to our locations in Fort Wayne and in Fletcher Place.
Hotel Tango Management tells me they were able to survive the past year with local support from the community, getting creative with their products and sales, as well as using the financial aid from Small Business Administration's PPP. They spent a large portion of 2020 selling and donating hand sanitizer they made with their alcohol. The new location allowed them to hire on more staff, and they are still hiring. Head to our website at WRTV.com and check out the story if you are interested in applying. Again, Hotel Tango's new Zionsville location will open this Thursday with its grand opening.
We can learn more about Indiana's vaccination plan tomorrow during the state's weekly briefing on the pandemic. Working for you, we're looking into vaccine clinics across central Indiana today. Today, the Fishers Health Department administered its first COVID-19 vaccine at a temporary site. The department has also acquired the former Marsh Supermarket at 116th Street and Brook School Road for a mass vaccination site. That should be up and running by the end of the month. The goal here is to vaccinate up to 1,000 people per day there. Earlier this week, health officials began administering the vaccine at the 4-H Fairgrounds in Noblesville, and the Marion County Health Department is operating one of 9 sites at 38th and Lafayette Road. Right now, healthcare workers, first responders, long-term care residents, and people age 80 and older are eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine in Indiana. You can register by going to ourshot.in.gov or by calling 211. You can still get tested for the virus for free. Just register at coronavirus.in.gov or call this number. It's 888-634-1116. Kevin.
Temperatures, Mark, made it into the 40s today, but temperatures will tumble toward the weekend, and the transition will include some snow showers. Details ahead.
Coming up, how women are helping lift each other up personally and professionally as the pandemic takes a devastating toll on women in the workplace.
And a little later, after a season on the sidelines, college marching band members from across the country get a moment in the national spotlight. We've got that story.
Of what's yours.
Like, I need someone who can hear my voice and can sit with me and can just be, I think, engaged in a conversation with where I am right now.
The Rebound Indiana is our initiative to connect you with the resources you need to get through this pandemic. Career changes, new demands at home as many kids are learning virtually, and keeping the family healthy. It's no wonder more than 2 million women have left the workforce since the start of this pandemic.
You know, entrepreneurship and being a business owner can be a very lonely place.
Tonight we are discussing how women are supporting women in this pandemic. Our Lauren Casey met with 3 business owners in the Indianapolis area who are also mothers. Their businesses provide a community of support in this virtual space. The City Moms is a membership organization or sisterhood for the modern mom. Indiana Originals is a search engine tool to connect you with local artisans across the state so you can shop and support local. And Indy Maven is a media company publishing content for women and mothers in the area. Their founders want you to know that even though they have different things to offer their consumers, they all share one important goal.
I know that a lot of our moms have talked quite a bit at length about needing just someone that can listen to them, that can be in the same boat as them right now.
Tomorrow on Good Morning Indiana, we will take a look at how these 3 women and their businesses work to overcome their own hardships and challenges to continue serving women in our community in this pandemic. And if you want to get connected to the women and community inside the City Moms, Indiana Originals, and Indy Maven, you can find more information on WRTV.com/rebound.
Well, now to the forecast as we take a live look outside at downtown Indianapolis. Kevin, the next couple of days will be good to take a walk or maybe cut the grass if you need to do that.
Now you're getting carried away. I don't think we'll fire up the lawnmower, but it does feel a whole lot better, doesn't it, Mark? Temperatures made it into the 40s today. 31 is our current temperature, 33 in Kokomo. I do think we'll see a little light fog and maybe some clouds early in the morning tomorrow, and that will give way to sunshine. Not much happening anywhere in the Midwest. As you can see, clouds are well to the north and northwest. Our dry stretch has now reached 10 straight days. I think it'll likely reach 12 before we break that string. Your headlines for tomorrow. 10 degrees above average. That'll put us back in the mid-40s. The wind gust will be noticeable, not as strong as today where we had a 28-mile-per-hour gust, and mark it down as a dry day. Again, we may have some stratus clouds first thing in the morning. That will lift We'll be left with partly to mostly sunny skies after that by the time we get to noon. 39 degrees. There's your wind, and it's the wind direction that helps us out. That will carry the temperatures a few degrees warmer than what we had today at 42 degrees. Temperatures tomorrow and on Thursday will be well into the 40s. Partly sunny, that southwest wind at 15 and temperatures low to mid 40s across the region. I want to pick up the timeline now, and you're looking at Thursday around 4 o'clock. There'll be some rain showers approaching the Wabash River. They're kind of fading as they arrive in central Indiana out ahead of a cold front. Then we'll have a break before more precipitation returns Friday. Thursday through the day, the clouds definitely increase ahead of that rain chance late afternoon into the evening. Then you look at the big picture. As we get to Friday, low pressure in the Great Lakes will bring colder air back to the Midwest, including the Hoosier State. The wind will come around instead of the southwest, it'll be northwest, and spiraling around the low pressure area will be these snow showers. I think during the afternoon hours on Friday, even into early Saturday, we'll continue with some snow showers as that colder air settles in. 33 on Saturday for the high, colder Sunday, 31 degrees. As you look at the 7-day forecast, temperatures next 2 days, that'll make 3 in a row that we've made it into the 40s. We've got some sunshine tomorrow. Then as we go late Thursday into Thursday night, some rain may mix with snow. Then snow showers Friday and Saturday. Temperatures as we get to Sunday will be the coldest in the 7-day forecast at about 31 for the high. Mark.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Hey, once again, Alabama is celebrating a national football championship. If you watched the game last night, you saw a lot of scoring, but what you didn't see at home was a special halftime performance. Scripps reporter Chris Conti shows how COVID-19 brought marching bands from across the country together for a memorable opportunity.
When this school year began, it was painfully clear there'd be a lot of silence as emptiness filled football stadiums from coast to coast. But it wasn't just athletes who were sidelined because of COVID.
It was very difficult for a lot of us to kind of have a last season that looked nothing like any of the seasons before.
As a drum major at the University of Maryland, Garrett Titano was looking forward to finishing out his senior year with his marching band family. The virus, though, kept them quiet.
We didn't play for a single football game. In the Big Ten, no bands were in the stands at any point in time.
If you're sitting there and the marching band's not there, it's kind of quiet.
Lexi Ashton is a junior at Iowa State. As a twirler in her school's marching band, she too had been looking forward to this season.
The marching band focuses on the fact that we're always going to be there for people.
Music was the conduit to bring all of these college students together.
Barry Hauser is with the Intercollegiate Marching Band Association. He saw all those disappointed musicians and decided to write a new song for these kids.
Even through these challenging times of having a pandemic, that we can reimagine things.
Fields run, takes it down the middle.
The idea, bring together marching bands from all over the country to perform during the College National Football Championship game on Monday night. In the end, 1,500 performers from 200 bands in 45 states came together to produce the virtual marching band show. The song, Beyoncé's End of Time. It played during halftime for a crowd of about 15,000 people, then streamed online for the world to see.
It's the first time that anything like this has ever happened.
I hope they see that the marching bands have all put in incredible work this season, that we haven't slacked off a bit.
For all COVID has taken from us, in a way, it gave many of these students a chance to perform on a national stage, something that doesn't always happen in college football.
There are students out there that would never have the opportunity to participate in something like this just because of, the conference that their school is in.
COVID did not silence marching bands. We made it work.
In the end, Alabama beat Ohio State 52-24. But for these marching band students, it's this performance that won the game.
It's something we really enjoy, and that's why we keep doing what we're doing.
I'm Chris Conti.
.com.
start with the opening round of the Marion County boys basketball tourney. Lawrence Central at Decatur Central. DC down 10 at the half. Nice comeback to open the third. Cannon Stone 3 from the corner. And then on the break, Brandon Smith finishes up close. The Hawks cut the margin down to just 5. But LC answered with an 18-0 run to blow the game open. Damaris Merriweather scores in the lane. And then the Bears would crank up the pressure. Steele gets ahead. Loose ball to Brandon Barrett. Big slam to put the game away. 58-38 the final. It's career win number 500 for Lawrence Central head coach Al Gooden. He becomes the first black coach in state history to reach that milestone. Here are the rest of Tuesday's first-round scores. LC will get top-ranked Lawrence North on Wednesday. Brebeuf will face Pike. Ben Davis Southport and Lutheran Warren also advancing. Those will be the matchups in the second round. The semifinals are Friday and the title game Saturday. Those games will be at Southport. A bad stretch in the first half was too much for Butler on Tuesday night. The Bulldogs fell behind St. John's by 10 at halftime, could not get over the hump in a 69-57 loss. Jair Bolden led Butler's scoring with 17 points. Bryce Enzi had a 14-rebound game to go with 7 points. Butler had 16 turnovers, though, managed only 25% shooting from three-point range. They dropped to 2-5 in the Big East. Butler hosts Creighton on Saturday. As the confetti fell last night on the Alabama Crimson Tide as college football's national champions, the countdown began for that sport's biggest game. And now all eyes on the Circle City as the national championship for 2022 gets set to come to Lucas Oil Stadium.
There's a lot of energy. Watching the game last night, you can't help but think, like, this is going to be in Lucas Oil Stadium. It's going to be awesome. I think the main thing for us is to bring all of our resources together, all the great leadership from the community, and really get our nuts and bolts planning going with the national staff at the CFP.
January 10th will be game day next year. What the sports landscape looks like then remains to be seen. But the Indy host committee is planning for anything.
What our approach has been is we're going to plan this event as though it's going to be happening the way that we want it to happen, and then putting contingency plans behind that associated with what the public health environment may be, what the weather may be. But our initial plan is to go big.
The Colts will have some big shoes to fill on the offensive line for their upcoming season. Tuesday, Anthony Costanzo announced he is retiring from football. The 10-year veteran tackle spent his entire career with the Colts after getting selected in the first round of the 2011 draft. He still had 1 season remaining on a contract extension he signed last year, but instead he is leaving the game after missing significant time with injuries the last 2 years, including season-ending ankle surgery this past fall.
Yeah, I guess the decision, I waited to make the decision finally, obviously after the season here. But, I contemplated it last year, and, I've kind of been thinking about it and trying to evaluate things. And, yeah, it just seemed that it was the right time. And you know what, after doing it, and I'm very, very pleased with my decision. I feel good about it.
Costanzo was the last player on the Colts roster that played with Peyton Manning and to also be drafted by former GM Bill Polian. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
Day only at Ashley Home Store.
Any clouds and patchy fog won't last long in the morning. By noon, temperature 39. We're headed toward 45 for the high. Temperatures will still be mild as we get to Thursday, and then they start to fall. Transition to colder weekend temperatures will bring some snow showers, it looks like, Friday into Saturday. Amanda?
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you for making WRTV your choice for news. Good Morning Indiana starts at 4:30. Good night.